Okay, this is a reaction video. This is from Front Page Football. Please click like, share, and subscribe for them as well as from me. This is the Premier League about to change? Do not know. Okay, do not know. Do not have a clue. Is the Premier League about to change? But let's see what Front Page Football has to say about it and react to it.
The climax of any given Premier League season.
And that was Manchester City in 2012 when they tipped Manchester United and won the title.
Typically revolves around two main storylines: the title race and the pursuit of European football.
Well, also relegation. Also, if you're a team that's in the relegation zone, you care about that as well. But title race and European qualifications are important.
Let's be honest, no one really cares about the relegation battle.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. I mean, the teams that support the teams that are about to be relegated tend to care about that.
But what about all the action happening in between? The term mid-table has long been used to describe.
Yeah, you got Newcastle, who just won the League Cup, Aston Villa, who's still in the Champions League and going to play PSG. Brighton, who made it to the Europa League last season, not this season, past season, but the last season. Bournemouth, which is Brentford. In fact, I saw their stadium when I was in London a couple of days ago, and Nottingham Forest. Yeah.
Describe teams that aren't vying for meaningful league positions nor facing the danger of relegation. However, the dynamic this season has been starkly different, with Manchester City experiencing an unexpectedly rough season, the usual ups and downs from Manchester United.
Mostly downs for Manchester United, although they seem to turn a corner a bit. They tied Arsenal, my club, and they beat Leicester 3-0 on the weekend.
And Tottenham being, well... Tottenham, the standout narratives this season have emerged from the Premier League's middle ranks, whose impressive exploits have raised the league's overall quality and competitiveness to new heights. So, how have these mid-table clubs done it?
Yeah, a lot of the mid-table clubs, especially Nottingham Forest, which they are going to make it to the Champions League, no doubt about it. I'd be very shocked if they didn't make it to the Champions League for next season.
As the gap between the Premier League and the Championship continues to widen, clubs in the former can often find themselves leaning on a sense of security in their status, while enjoying the substantial commercial benefits that come with competing in England's top division. However, true to the nature of competition, there is every chance this false sense of security can foster complacency, especially among clubs that grow too relaxed and allow more ambitious rivals to overtake them. This season in particular, we've seen several mid-table clubs rise above their usual standings, thanks to their bold playing styles, recruitment strategies, and managerial decisions. Brighton and Brentford usually come to mind when thinking about these types.
Yeah, Brighton and Brentford are usually teams that are in the mid-table, definitely mid-table clubs, but they are fighting for European places this season. And Manchester United and Tottenham are basically nowhere to be found.
Of teams, ones that embrace a young, ambitious manager while deploying smart, data-driven recruitment strategies to acquire affordable talent aligned with their overall vision. If executed properly, it's also an approach that helps them thrive financially, buying players for cheap, selling them for higher fees, and reinvesting those funds back into the team. Both Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth have also made significant strides in their performances and league standing. Forest in particular have transformed from relegation candidates to top 4 contenders within a year.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest has been really, really good this year. I saw them. They played on Saturday against Ipswich, beat them 4-2, and really just dominated them for the most part. Just a fantastic club. The way they're doing things.
Driven by smart signings and a strong commitment to their manager's philosophy of playing fast and physical, even without the ball. For all the questions asked of their recruitment strategy following promotion, Forest have since become a blueprint for championship sides on how to navigate the step up to the Premier League.
Yeah, because I think this is the second season you're going to have the same team, three teams that were promoted go back down to the championship.
Their initial spending spree may have seemed haphazard, but it was grounded in the necessity of filling their ranks with more Premier League-ready players. While not every deal has turned out well, or every signing like Jesse Lingard or Jonjo Shelvey, there have been valuable additions like Murillo and Anthony Elanga to restore
Anthony Elanga has been really good for Nottingham Forest this year.
the balance. Bournemouth's rise, on the other hand, has been steady since their promotion in 2022. The appointment of Andoni Iraola as manager the following year played a crucial role in their improvement and is the type of foreign, tactically astute coach that many Premier League teams are now seeking. Even during a challenging injury crisis earlier this year, where their bench against Newcastle on matchday 22 had a mere 39 combined Premier League.
Yeah, that was poor, but they still they're still a good team. They're still a solid team.
Appearances, they still hammered their opponents 4-1.
Yeah, Justin Kluivert scored a hat trick. Fantastic.
Before doing the same to Nottingham Forest in the following game.
Yeah, I know that was surprising that they beat Nottingham Forest that bad. Now Bournemouth has actually gone on. They lost to Brentford, I think 2-1 over the weekend. They've actually hit a snag.
These clubs are just a few examples of mid-table teams that have surpassed expectations, but they illustrate just how much and quickly they can alter the Premier League standings. A look at the mid-table finishes over the
the mid-table finishes and Wolves, Arsenal, in 2019-20, Wolves, Arsenal, Sheffield United, Burnley, Southampton, Everton, Newcastle. 21, Tottenham, Arsenal, Leeds, Everton, Aston Villa, Newcastle, Wolves. 22, West Ham, Leicester, Brighton, Wolves, Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Brentford. 23, Aston Villa, Tottenham, Brentford, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Wolves. And then last year was Newcastle, Manchester United, West Ham, Crystal Palace, Brighton, Bournemouth, and Fulham.
The past 5 seasons reinforces this point. For instance, Newcastle have finished above mid-table only once in the last 5 seasons, achieving a 4th place finish in the 2022-23 season.
And they made it to the Champions League. Played pretty well there, even though they went out in the preliminary rounds, the first 6 games before they changed the way they do the Champions League.
Despite statistically being the most quote-unquote mid-team during this period, they're currently in the race for European football and only recently knocked Arsenal out of the Carabao Cup to set up a final against Liverpool.
Which they beat. They beat the Liverpool 2-1 over the weekend.
Second final appearance in the competition in 3 years. If you ask Newcastle fans, most would likely be happy with the club's current performance and ambition. In contrast, despite being tied with Newcastle with the most mid-table appearances in the past 5 seasons, Wolves find themselves in 17th place.
But they aren't going down. That's the most important thing. They are not going to go down.
Just above the relegation zone. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, subscribe so that you don't miss out on our future videos.
Yes, please click like, share, and subscribe for Front Page Football as well as for me as well. I would very much appreciate it. Now, the fall of the Big Six. Now, Manchester United and Tottenham are definitely in that group. Chelsea, kind of. Manchester City, kind of this season. The only teams that are still doing well in the Big Six are Arsenal and Liverpool.
2010s were without a doubt the peak of the Big Six power axes. Yet, as a bald Dutchman from United once said, eras come to an end, and it wasn't long before most of these clubs ran into real adversity. Fast forward to today, and the Big Six are now facing more challenging tests on the pitch against the rest of the league. While the doom and gloom hanging over clubs like United and Spurs illustrate a particularly drastic season of change, the decline in their performance has certainly not happened overnight. In fact, the Big Six have only finished as the top 6 just once in the last 5 seasons.
Yeah, Look, Manchester United has been very poor this year. Tottenham has been poor this season. Chelsea hasn't been very good. I saw them play against Arsenal on last Sunday. I was at that game. I was at the Emirates. Liverpool and Arsenal are the only two teams in this group that are really comfortably in Champions League position. Chelsea and Manchester City are struggling, and Tottenham and Manchester United are nowhere near it.
Recent surprise packages in the top four include Newcastle, who finished fourth in the 2022-23 season and secured a return to the Champions League after a 20-year absence. Aston Villa followed suit in the following season by edging out Tottenham to claim the last Champions League spot.
And they're still in it. They play PSG.
Competition in which they have now qualified for the quarterfinals. If Nottingham Forest continue their current trajectory until the end of this season, it will mark the third consecutive season in which outsiders have broken into the top four.
And then they've earned it. And that's the one thing about Nottingham Forest. They have definitely earned it.
Below in the top six. A shift in dominance is evident, with television money from the league's lucrative broadcasting deals starting to flow to the other.
It's not just the TV money, it's also the wise investment and the purchase of players, the right players. It's like in the movie Miracle with Herb Brooks. He goes, I'm not looking for the best players, I'm looking for the right players. And these teams have gotten the right players.
14 clubs, and the profit and sustainability rules creating a more level playing field. Moreover, there's a strong possibility that the Premier League could feature 5 teams in the Champions League next season.
Yeah, that is a possibility. So Manchester City could sneak in and Chelsea could sneak in. But again, they still have Brighton, Aston Villa. There's still teams there that can knock these two teams out. That's just what's amazing about this.
Causing a trickle-down effect that would allow 8 English clubs to qualify for European competitions, which ultimately adds an extra layer of intrigue to the mid-table battle. To watch our video debating whether the Premier League's Big Six era is truly over, click the first link in the description or the card in the top right corner. A growing number of well-run mid-table clubs are showing what can be achieved by recruiting smartly and playing to a system. While a shock in the current title race seems unlikely, there is real strength in depth in the Premier League's middle tier this season. This season isn't quite like the 2015-16 season.
Yeah, when Leicester won the title. Leicester just came up and they're going right back down.
But it does share some parallels. Leicester's title success, while extraordinary, effectively acted as a reset for the Big Six clubs after nearly all of them experienced disappointing campaigns for the first time in recent memory. And, as it turned out, Leicester's triumph spurred these clubs into action. They had won the league with 81 points, but since then, no team has claimed the title with fewer than 86 points, while only twice have the champions finished with fewer than 90. With Liverpool poised to secure the title this season without needing an excessive points total, the rise of a strong middle class has certainly helped equalize the league and restore the balance of power.
But it's interesting, Liverpool, in basically in 2 months, they went out of the FA Cup, they lost the League Cup final, and they went out of the Champions League. All they have left to play for is the Premier League, which they've pretty much already secured. So that's where Liverpool is right now.
And what will be even more fascinating to observe in the coming seasons is whether the rest of the Big Six can come back stronger, as they did in the 2016-17 season, or if they will succumb to the rising challenge from the mid-table pack. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like.
Well, I think this is an interesting video. This is from Front Page Football. Please click like, share, and subscribe for them as well as for me. Look, Mark Goldbridge has mentioned this about the 3 teams that have come up, they've gone right back down, second season in a row. Wolves, which is 17th place, had a bad year this year, but they're still going to stay in the Premier League. Arsenal, basically just playing on till next season. Still in the Champions League, play Real Madrid. We'll see how that plans out. But hey, we'll see how this goes out. But please click like, share, and subscribe for Front Page Football as well as for me. I would appreciate it. And have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching.